Hi guys, and welcome to the Insert Your Day Here live thing. Hi Donald, good to see you get a message in just as we were going live. we would have a bet on you being the first one, but it's not going to happen, is it? So, hope you all had a good week.
How's it going in sunny Spain? Are you lockdownless now?
Locked down for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks in
Except
Scotland.
the trouble is that they've done what they've done in the UK, which is really weird, where they say, okay, you're locked down, but you can go out for an hour. And obviously people aren't going to abuse that, are they? But what they've got here is that restaurants and bars can open at 50% capacity. There's got to be a gap between the tables, right? They're recommending booking only, but they're telling people you've got to stay at home. So it's got complete mixed messages. And that's a problem. So I'm staying home. Screw it.
Yeah.
So anyway, apart from that, how's your week been, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I've had a phone call with Facebook about half an hour ago, so my brain's a bit mashed from whinging at the Facebook ad reps once again. And people ask me, like, why do you actually do these Facebook ad rep calls? And it's like the reason why you do them is that it's just to kind of, if shit hits fan, you've at least got somebody to talk to. If your account gets shut down, at least you can actually say, well, I've had all these conversations with you. So it's definitely a good thing to do, especially if you rely on it as one of your main traffic sources. Anyway, been running some decent campaigns. Donald's just said about 4 cent likes all week.
It's same as Donald with it.
Yeah, Donald. Dear. So yeah, I've had a reasonable week, to be honest with you, a reasonably good start to the month. We've got a brand new product. Have I got it here? What have I done with it?
Hi Morris, how you doing? Tim's messing around. Hi John. Hi Donald. Hi everyone else who hasn't messaged us yet. Yeah.
Clearly, I have got a new product somewhere around here, but I've obviously lost it.
This is how organised we are.
Launched a new product yesterday, which is a vitamin C product, great for immunity if you want to beat the coronavirus.
Hang on. Look, here comes the bandwagon. Jump on.
Dear. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about today, Mark?
Let's talk about lead generation. Hi, Michael. But before we go to lead generation, you want to finish off a little bit from last week?
Yeah, it's kind of actually the lead generation part is actually what we were talking about last week. So if you were with us last week, I went through.
We were talking about emails.
We were talking about email writing and email marketing, and like the second half of the presentation that I had planned, which I didn't present, was to do with email capture, email lead generation, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to go through today. Obviously, last week, a lot of the stuff we did to do with email marketing, some of it was quite basic, some of it was kind of middling, and some of it's more advanced. And it's going to be kind of the same sort of thing that we're going to go through today, I think, as well. This first bit will take about 10 minutes to go through. So we'll do the official presentation first, and then we'll go off on a complete tangent after that, like we normally do. Dear, right, let's see if I can find this thing.
9.5 minutes of our 10 minutes of pre-show. Let's work out what we're going to do, talking about Macs.
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's interesting, like the whole Mac thing, because say it's
tangent already.
No, I'm not going to go off on the tangent. Share screen. Hang on a second. Share screen. It'll just go blah.
Okay, and there we go.
So obviously, I've missed off some an important thing to recommend here on this. But basically, there's two things you need to grow your email list. One is a way for somebody to put their email address into a box, and the second thing is you need somewhere to store it. So obviously the box on the left, that comes from a piece of software called ConvertBox. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. And the bits on the right are the different pieces of software. You need an email service provider or email management software, whatever, EMS, or there's so many different ways of ESP, there's so many different ways of describing it. So this is your MailChimps of the world. This is your ActiveCampaigns. This is your ConvertKit. This is your, Infusionsoft if you're insane. So between Mark and I reckon we've pretty much used every single different email software provider that there is out there. I still even have an Aweber account from 2009, which I still pay pennies for each month. But if you're in the e-commerce world, certainly I would recommend either Drip or Klaviyo. Klaviyo is my preferred, my service of choice. It is superb. Drip did a bit of a pivot a couple of years ago, where they basically were 4 content producers originally, and then they did a pivot to e-commerce. MailChimp,
they're regretting that now.
MailChimp on the other side of it, I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. It's got issues. And if you're in the info space or content marketing, or if you want to do anything particularly clever, ActiveCampaign is the piece of software of choice. And this is the thing that Mark uses and talks about all the time. And a lot of the courses that you'll find, the free courses and also the paid courses within SMO, are based around ActiveCampaign. So you'll see an awful lot of the stuff that we talk about within SMO, the free group, is based upon ActiveCampaign.
If you're in the pro group, go and check out the video that I posted earlier today. It'll blow your mind. Since I posted that, I haven't stopped thinking about it and ways I can actually use it. So it's going to be a little bit cryptic, but pro members who check out the video will know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, clearly I haven't been into the pro group today, so I've no idea.
You said it was a brilliant idea, but I told you, my God, that's brilliant.
Okay, so it's that idea. Okay, no, yeah. that is a really ninja cool thing, and definitely worth checking out if you're in the pro group. If you're not in the pro group, why are you not in the pro group? Anyway, before we get to sales,
not in the pro group.
Email list building. So very, very simply, for customers, for me, the customer email list is your most important asset. As I mentioned in the call last week, is that my customer list, my email list, is my most important asset. You can take everything else away from me. You can take away all my products, my websites, my office, pretty much everything, but do not take away my customer email list. That is the most valuable asset to my company. Because I created this presentation for Amazon merchants, which I presented a couple of weeks ago, one of the challenges that they have is that they actually don't get the customer's email address. You can email the customer through Amazon, but it's restricted, heavily restricted, and it's monitored, so you can't actually drive somebody to something outside of Amazon, which is a bit of a pain in the bum. So if you are an Amazon person, I know there's a few people who watch this who are Amazon people. Definitely, you've still got to be able to get hold of, collect emails, and I would certainly recommend doing that before a purchase. So doing things like coupon giveaways and that kind of stuff. And I would use something like ConvertKit or Drip to manage the list, or even ActiveCampaign. To be honest with you. If you're not an Amazon merchant, if you're just a normal merchant, you can also do things like package inserts and stuff like that as well. For the normal business owner, for an e-commerce business owner like myself, Klaviyo is my most strongly recommended tool. And certainly one of the reasons why I recommend Klaviyo over everything else is that the segmentation capabilities on Klaviyo based upon somebody's purchases are incredible. So I can literally go, this person has bought lean greens 3 times in the last 6 months, but not in the last 2 months. And I can have a segment of people who are basically about to abandon my brand. So I can send them a specific email campaign based upon that. You can set up conditional email sequences, very much like what you would do with ActiveCampaign. Conditional email sequences are hugely powerful, basically if-then statements. Has this person done this? Have they clicked on this link? Have they read this email or not? And whether you resend the same email or whether you send them a different email. So that's the reason for using something like Klaviyo or ActiveCampaign, is those powerful conditional sort of sequences that you can set up, and the segmentation that you can do. And of course, there's the list management functions, your ability to cleanse your list and also integrate tightly with the different tools that you've got. Certainly one of my recommendations is figure out what your most important application is that you use, whether that's Shopify, whether that's something like Thrivecart, or for us it's our recurring billing software. Basically everything else, our entire software stack has to hang off that. So everything that we do based upon our recurring billing platform, if a piece of software does not integrate with a recurring billing platform, then we don't use it. Thankfully, Klaviyo integrates nice and tightly with our subscription software. So if you don't know what I mean by these conditional flows or conditional email sequences, this is what I mean. So as you've got a conditional split, is this person an active subscriber? Yes, then we send them, are they not an active subscriber? Then send them this particular offer email. If they are an active subscriber, then end the flow. So you can do some real fancy stuff with the flows. So one of the things with coming back to some of the basics behind this, email list building, building your prospect lists, like big list doesn't necessarily equal big sales. Mark's obviously talked bigly, I should say, about small list, big income, or big income, small list, whichever way around it is this week. And it's one of the things with small lists is that it's about getting the right people on the right list, only getting the right people onto your lists. So, people have asked about, should you run a contest? Should you do giveaways and all this kind of stuff to get people onto your list? And in some respects, there is a place for doing giveaways or contests. And we do run a contest, a giveaway, or a contest for getting people from our Facebook page to become email subscribers. Now, the contest that we have is basically for somebody to win a £100 voucher to spend on our store. So it's the only people who are going to sign up to that particular contest, i.e. sign up to our email list, are people who actually do genuinely want to buy our products. And that's the most important thing to think about when you're doing these kind of contest giveaways. You see all these kind of promotions for like iPad giveaways, and you just sign up because the person they just want to win an iPad. They don't give a damn about your product. They don't give a damn about your emails that you're sending out. All it's just going to create is a lot of spam complaints, a lot of unsubscribes, and a bad reputation with your email service provider. So try and avoid contests in the scheme of iPad giveaways and all that kind of stuff, but they do have a place. One of the things that we do a lot, certainly Mark does it a lot, is blog posts are a great place to add an opt-in box. So rather than just having a old school squeeze page where the only thing on the landing page is basically a box to enter your email address, is that you have an opt-in box appear on blog posts. So if somebody's interested in a particular subject that you're talking about on the blog post, you have what's called a content upgrade towards the middle and the bottom of the blog post, which basically says, want to know more about this particular subject, opt in and we'll give you the video that shows you how to do this exactly same thing, kind of thing. So you can also have landing pages with timed pop-ups or exit pops or scroll depth pop-ups and all that kind of stuff. And we use ConvertBox to be able to enable us to do that. I use ConvertBox in the e-commerce world. Mark uses ConvertBox in the info space and digital marketing space. It is a hugely powerful piece of software, but ridiculously simple and lightweight as well, and well worth looking at. So to give you an idea of what I use ConvertBox for, we have these kind of little pop-up things which appear at the bottom of the screen for sending people to a particular offer on our so this is a blog post, and then basically once they've scrolled down a certain depth, we show this particular offer or this particular banner suddenly appears. And then on this particular page, this is a landing page, sales page, that once somebody's been on the page for at least 90 seconds, we pop up a box and say, save on your first order. So there's a pop-up box, bottom left-hand corner here, or on a mobile device, pops up over the top part here. And it's either a scroll depth or it's a timed pop-up. Really super powerful. And these are ConvertBox boxes. Again, super, super powerful for doing stuff like that. So some basics for list building is know who you want on your list. For us, it's about people who just don't like vegetables. So as long as you remember that and you play to that message, it means that the emails that you are writing that we talked about last week are a lot more relevant, rather than just getting anybody and everybody onto your list. And then when you start sending emails, they get annoyed because they just don't care about the thing that you're writing about. Which brings me on to point 2. You know exactly who you don't want on your list. We know that we don't want vegans, PTs, or health fanatics on our list. We want the most unhealthy people on the planet to be on our list, because they will get the humor and the message and the story that we have. Vegans, PTs, and health fanatics will be pissed off, annoyed, will complain about me, send me hate mail, all sorts of stuff because of what we talk about on the emails. It's not that we pick out in particular certain specific people. We don't go, Joe Wicks is a dickhead, blah 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 kind of thing, or we don't do that kind of stuff. But we pick a group like a vegans and health fanatics and the personal trainers of the world. Or we pick on them as a group, not as individually, which tends to relate really, really well with the types of people who do like getting my emails. Understanding what the common outcome of your list member is going to be. They want to feel like they're doing their body some good. That's the reason why somebody wants to be on our list. It's not necessarily that they have perfect nutrition. It's that they just want to feel like they're doing something good. What are the common heroes? We like to align with Joe Wicks because he's a common hero for our particular audience. He doesn't come across holier than thou and tell you that you're fat and lazy and you should have perfect nutrition every day. He's not like that at all. Common enemies, again, the personal trainers and the nutritionists, the perfect people of the world. So that's the kind of thing that we think about when we're doing our list building, when we're creating opt-in pages and opt-in boxes. What are we trying to, who are we trying to attract to get onto our list, so that when we do email, they prefer to get, they like to get our emails. The perfect lead magnet. Now, lead magnets are something that Mark and I have used on pretty much every different project that we've ever worked on, and lead magnets have changed over the years. So it used to be that you end up giving away ridiculous things like 400-page ebooks and stuff like that, which is just insanity if you ask me. Thankfully, a lot of those have gone the way of the dodo. But the ideal perfect lead magnet for me is, what's the first thing that the person wants or needs to solve their particular problem? What's going to move them to the next step? What's going to give them something that they feel like they're actually progressing with? We find things like checklists are great for that. They're great as lead magnets, or juicing guides, So simple DIY guides for creating your first juice. And we find that videos are a great way of, like, a great lead magnet and a great way of putting across some information. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about on the basic level of like lead generation and lead creation, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. Obviously, I've talked about a few different tools. ConvertBox, the one at the top, if you click on that, if you go to that particular link, it is an affiliate link, but we earn a penny or two from recommending that particular product. But as you can see, I use it on a daily basis in our business. And the same with Klaviyo. We use Klaviyo every day. And if you're into ActiveCampaign, Mark has a particular link for ActiveCampaign.
Cool. The one other way I want to sort of talk about doing this is what I've been using mostly over the last few months, and it works really, really well. So let me just share my screen. It works so well, I've even done a course on it. There we go.
Zoom.
Okay, so free online courses.
Yeah.
Okay. Work really, really well. So obviously I use Thinkific. I absolutely love Thinkific. It is a game changer as far as I'm concerned. I don't have sleepless nights because of Wishlist and LearnDash and Buddy Boss, and one of them updates and it breaks the others, which happens all the time. It's got everything. It's a landing page, it's a cart, it's a delivery mechanism, it's everything. Right. So simple course. It's a basic web page design, but you can get some good stuff. So what you do, this course is actually way longer than I intended. I would think about like between 3 and 6 lessons is really all you need. And all you do is send people to sign up for free. Once they sign up for free, they're on an email list. If I went into ActiveCampaign now, you'd see I've got ActiveCampaign and Thinkific linked up. So things like various events, they enroll in a course, that gets passed to ActiveCampaign. So if it gets passed to ActiveCampaign, I can trigger an automation, or the automation can be triggered by Thinkific. If they complete a course, you get to the bottom of the end of a course, there's a button there, completed. You click on that, that can trigger an event. So I can send out certificates. I can send out congratulations on completing your course. If you want to take this further, please check out this product. Okay, here's 20% off. Here's 30% off, whatever. It makes life so much easier. When they enroll in a course, you can take that course and, as I said, you start an automation that can kick off a 7 email sequence, right, while they're going through it, or you can deliver the lessons. So, for example, the introduction and the tools and resources could be delivered today. The original FB Live I did on this can be delivered the next day. This can be delivered another day, or this section can be delivered this week, this section next week, this section the week after, this whatever. It's so flexible. Okay, think about using courses. The other thing you can do is, if you have a PDF that you've given away before, you can do this on a PC. I don't know how you do it, but you can do it on a PC. But on a Mac, if you just highlight the sections you want, so the introductory section, if you drag it to your desktop, it splits up the PDF, right? If you then name the PDF however you want it and upload it, then when you upload it, it creates all the individual lessons. So I've, on some of these, let's have a look at all courses. Let's see if we can find one that I've used before. Yeah, techniques, not tools. Right, you can see here, this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, including download the PDF to it. That is literally a PDF split up and uploaded as a course. Makes life easy. And then you can get people to enroll for free, and once again, leads on to something else.
I think one of the interesting things with doing this kind of thing with Thinkific is, and having a course, is that it goes back to that point that I had, which is getting the right people onto your list. It's like, it's far too, you can get people added to your list really, really easily. And it's like, you can run stupid contests and like, have, some clickbaity style kind of opt-in that gets people all hot under the collar to start with, and then it doesn't translate to actually any sales. Whereas like the kind of people that Mark's interested in having on his list are people who are interested in learning more about marketing and becoming better marketers. And so by having a course, it's kind of like going, well, okay, you've shown that you're interested in learning about how to be a better marketer. Let me sell you some more stuff that's to do with how to become a better marketer. And that's why it's such a powerful opt-in format.
The other thing it allows you to do is think of everything. I don't know if it's the right word, holistically. So, for example, let's say you've got a large audience that you're targeting. In that audience, there'll be people who want to learn the basics of cooking, for example, right? So you can have a course, cooking basics, 5 techniques to get you started, right? The people who go through that course, you've now got a path for them, so they can do your updated basics course. When they complete that, you can then take them to your intermediate course. When they complete that, you can take them to your advanced course. If you've got another article on your blog and that's all about intermediate cooking tips, once again, they come into the intermediate tips, then you take them further up again. It allows you to segment your audience. And as we always say, segmenting your audience is probably the best thing you can do for your business ever.
It's, and also one of the things I find is the most important thing is getting people to complete that first thing. If you gave them a 400-page ebook, with 15,000, 20,000 words in it, it's like the likelihood of somebody finishing that book is quite small. Whereas if you have, 3 to 5 lessons or 7 lessons of a particular course that somebody can complete in a couple of hours at most, an hour, is probably a good stretch. It's kind of like, if they've completed it, they feel like they've accomplished something, they've learned something, they've moved forward. And then they're much, much more likely to then go and forward and invest in your next thing. If, and then you can segment people based upon whether they completed the free course or not. If they've completed the free course, then you can go, oh, you completed the first free course. How about the paid one, which you will get even more results from, rather than.
On top of that, if I delivered Techniques Not Tools as a PDF, which I used to do, I have got no idea if you've read it. Absolutely no idea. I have to go forward assuming that you've read every bit and you agree with it, right? If I deliver it as a course, I can see exactly how far you've got. I can see how far you've watched each video. I can see which videos you've watched. Everyone's getting worried now. I can see when you finish the video. If you get halfway through and then stop, right? I can send an email and say, hey, I see you haven't finished. Is there any problem with the course? Right? I can start that conversation. Okay. I can look at the course and see which videos people are finishing really quickly. I can go back and re-record that video and make it like tell them what's coming in it at the beginning. That's the simplest way of doing it. Just bolt something onto the end, onto the front of it. In this video, I'll show you how to do A, B, and C, which you should be doing anyway, but we usually forget. It gives you so much more control. So you build, as far as I'm concerned, you build a better list. You build a much higher quality list. Anybody who doesn't bother finishing the course, I can just ignore. Really, what I'm actually still, believe it or not, 6 to 9 months in, I'm still getting my head around some of the ways that I can use Thinkific. I'm not using it as effectively as I know I should be able to. So, for example, we have a course. The people who get to the end of the course can go off on another path. The people who don't get to the end of it, I can take them down a completely other path, right? Give them a more simple version, okay? Isolate what's the most important thing they need to do and then do another smaller course or another PDF for them that says, hey, I don't know if you didn't finish the course on whatever. Here's a much simpler way of doing it. If you let me know if you like it or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can once you're tracking and getting data, the world's your oyster, and that's the main thing: getting data.
Yeah, cool. So questions in the boxes about opt-ins, like just fire them in.
Yeah.
If you got any thoughts about lead magnets or anything like that, I'm happy to answer people's questions on that.
John's made a good point, but there is a point I want to make about it. What's wrong with Fat and Lazy? You need fans of the Big Lebowski on your list. Right. This is another thing about your list. So that probably wouldn't work for Tim's list, because it's a lot of people in the UK don't relate to the Big Lebowski. So,
yeah.
So it wouldn't work. If it was something like Rab C. Nesbitt,
yeah,
then it probably would, because they would understand it. So it's actually knowing your audience and making sure you present to your audience. So with a sort of multinational audience, I can talk about The Office, okay, because they did a crap American version of it. Any of our American friends who like The Office, make sure you get the UK version. It's 10 times better. More cringy, but 10 times better.
Here's the thing with, like, I'm going to go off on a very short tangent. Here's the thing: I can't watch the UK Office. I can't. I literally it
cringe so much.
It makes me come out in a cold sweat. It's kind of like fingers down the, like, honestly, it's that bad, and it's so cringeworthy because I had a boss who modeled his management style on David Brent, and I just can't watch it.
But I mean that. So if I wrote an email and Tim opened that, he could relate to it.
Yeah.
If I start talking about how, and you sit there and you go, I can't believe that guy's doing it. But there are people like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think I might get sued if I actually use my old boss in an email, because the death threats that I probably made to him, like, 10 years ago, or longer ago than that, 15 years ago, they're probably still very fresh in his mind, because I genuinely did want to kill him.
When you make a death threat to your boss, you know there's problems, don't you?
Yeah, that was my cue to, like, get out while I could. Yeah.
Oh, mild mannered Tim. Yeah. So there's so many ways that you can grow your list, and it really is just getting that email address into somewhere where you can use it, and use it properly. Use it in the right way. There is solo ads. Now, I hate solo ads, right? Because you're targeting at a huge audience. But done right, it can be extremely, extremely valuable. So if you've got a person with the right type of list, who are, like, for me at the moment, I'm focused on the UK. I'm starting to focus on the UK more than worldwide. If I can find a guy with a list of people who like who are learning about online marketing, who are based in the UK, and I say to him, I want 50 signups. Here's $50. I can probably get 50 signups today for a course, a piece of training. Now, it's got to be really on point, and it's got to be good quality. No, it's no good just getting people to sign up for something rubbish because they're used to that. You've got to go above and beyond, and that way it'll work. So I might have to test that.
Yeah. So in terms of other, like, opt-in methods that you've tried, I know we've talked before about things like content upgrades. Do you have anything in particular that you use at the moment for, like, content upgrades? Is it mostly driving somebody to a course? Is that the way it works?
Mostly courses. I mean, obviously the best, I've told this loads of times, so people listening will probably know this. The best list building I ever did was 4,000 subscribers in a day. By spending a day writing two identical PDFs with different marketers' links in them. So I used a marketer's affiliate link in it rather than my own. And I gave him the report and said, people can sign up here, and they'll get this. It's got all your links in it. And so I gave it to 2 marketers, and they sent it out, and I got 4,000 subscribers overnight. Didn't make a penny off the report. Didn't want to. I got 4,000 subscribers. So I've got 4,000. Let's call it $1 a thing. I'm sure some of them are still on my list now. So it worked.
I've run various. I suppose the best opt-in campaigns that I've ran before. It's the consistent stuff for me. Like, that is the bit that is very unsexy. Kind of adding people to your list, adding 5 or 6 or 7 people to your list every single day, and it's come mostly through a blog post. And it's like, I wrote a blog post, and it had like a pop-up on it, and it produced 5, 6, 7 new prospects every single day without fail. And it was like my most trafficked blog post. And so I went into Google Analytics, figured out which was my most trafficked organically blog post, and then stuck an opt-in onto it for getting an offer or getting access to a new customer offer, and it consistently added 5, 6, 7 people a day. And it's like, it's not as sexy and exciting as like getting 4,000 people in one day, which has its place, but it's one of those things that you can bank on. And it's like, you just kept on ticking through and giving me new prospects every single day. It still does give me, like, organically, it still gives me like 2 or 3 people a day. So just keep it going.
Yeah. Honestly, you don't have to overthink this. If you've got something that that's exactly as Tim said, work out where you're getting most of your traffic going to, and start there. And you'll get, 1 lead a day, doesn't matter. That's 365 a year. Okay, that will pay for probably all your marketing tools if you do your marketing properly.
Yeah, and it's ultimately they should convert. If they're opting into the right thing, and like they're opting in for the right reasons, then they should start converting at a decent percentage to buy your thing. So that's the most key thing to remember with doing lead capture and lead capture processes. And then go back to the emails that we talked about last week, the email writing, the email sequences that you write, the onboarding sequences, as well as, so you can do an onboarding sequence for somebody who is a prospect. It's something that Andre Chaperon does extremely well with his stuff, and like he'll have an onboard.
He doesn't do follow-up emails very well at the moment, does he?
He's been a bit of rubbish with follow-up. So there's Andre for you. But when he launched like Autoresponder Madness, and you signed up to like his Bob and Jim thing, I can't remember the name of the 2 guys that are
Steve and Mike, I can't remember. Yeah,
Steve and Mike or whatever. But you sign up to Andre's list, and like, he doesn't try and sell you anything for 30 days. It's like eventually he sells you Autoresponder Madness. But it's things like that where you're going, okay, so he's looking at on the long game with this, but he's indoctrinating people to the way that
term. I absolutely loathe that term, indoctrination.
Yeah,
it sounds like you're part of a cult. We're passing out Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm very educating.
Educate. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think whether there's a better way of describing it.
Yeah, it's a horrible term. It really is.
Yeah. It's getting people used to you and knowing, liking, and trusting you, and ultimately that's the reason why we do it. It's like when I used to work with my ex-business partner Paul, we used to market to a lot of personal trainers and waterboarding. Yeah, I just seen the comment below. Myself and Paul, we sat and wrote an email sequence for basically indoctrinating people, waterboarding people onto our into our world, we didn't try and sell anything for the first 16-17 days, but we could map pretty much accurately when somebody was going to buy. We could get somebody signed up onto the list, and like 17 days later they'd buy. And it was pretty accurate, and we knew that how good a conversion rate we could get. It's just that we would have to be willing to wait that 17 or 18 days, which Paul's patience sometimes let go a little bit, which is why we then launched things like we would launch a new product and we'd be like, Paul's like, press send, quick, press send.
His normal one was press send without a link in the email.
Well, that's normally the way it would work. Yeah, it's like, have we double checked the email? Have we not said? Have we said anything that we shouldn't have said? But no, generally, like once you've got somebody who's actually on board with you as an individual, once you've got them, taken them through that onboarding sequence, you can start putting pretty much anything in front of them, and as long as it's the right type of product, it's the right type. You're not just churning and burning lists like like it's 1995 again, where you just get presented with offer after offer after offer, the next WSO offer or whatever it might be for $7. So yeah, just reading
Good question for you there, Tim. What buying signals did you track or see that let you know people were ready to buy?
We didn't. It was basically to see, we just had to tell enough stories to actually get somebody to trust us enough. Because both Paul and I had been on both sides of the story for being personal trainers and running group training programs and stuff like that, we understood the audience explicitly well. We understood the challenges that they had, the pain points they had, what they actually truly desired. So one of the best headlines that I ever wrote was, we're going to show you something along the lines of earn an extra £1,000 per month. It wasn't like create a six-figure business or start buying Lamborghinis and yachts and all this kind of stuff.
That is where people like Ty Lopez get it completely wrong, because the people that they attract are the people. Okay, I can't say they're getting it wrong because they're making huge incomes, but the people's preconceptions when they sign up haven't been set properly.
Yeah.
Okay, because they sign up thinking I'm going to be a millionaire by next week.
Yeah. So we set the expectation early on. It's like, we understand the challenges you're going through. We've been through that problem. We've told stories about getting up early in the morning and like training people for an absolute pittance. And it's like actually how an extra couple of $100 a month can make a big difference to the way that you run your business and the way you run your life. And it's like saying to somebody, oh, you can earn an extra £1,000 by setting up £1,000 a month extra per month by setting up and running a boot camp in the right way. We're going to show you how to do that. And the course is, whatever it was, $300 or whatever it was. And we sold so many of them because people trusted us implicitly, because we'd told those stories about our experiences, which related exactly to theirs as well and what they were going through. And that's the important thing, is understanding the audience. It's like me talking about people who get abused for being fat and lazy. And I'm like, I embrace those people because at heart, I'm a fat, lazy person. I've not always been a fit and healthy person. I've not always been the healthiest eater. I'm not right now. I'm not the healthiest eater. I eat crap. I eat cake. I drink coffee too much. It's like, so when you start talking to people in those terms, rather than just abusing people, you see so many of these personal trainers going, all right, you've got to have the perfect nutrition, eat kale and all this kind of stuff. It's like bullshit.
Learn your macros. You've got to learn your macros.
And but there's an audience out there, 70% of the population, in my belief, 70% of the population will hear that and they go, fuck you, dude. Sorry, I'm not doing that. Or not even sorry. They're just going, there's no way I'm doing that. And it's like, so, the way that we talk to our customers and our prospects is very much, talking to them the language that they understand. Yeah, we like to go out for a meal. We like to have cake and dessert and, have drinks and like have a takeaway from the local curry house and all those kind of things, because that's what relates to those people, understanding the person who you're talking to. And that's why all of these, all of this stuff to do with getting the right person on your list is so, so important. It then makes opt-ins much, much easier to get because you're speaking their language, and you keep them on, and they become better quality customers at the end of it as well.
Cool. So anyone got any questions? And we'll try and get them answered. So what are you doing for the rest of the week then, Tim? What's your plans?
Well, apparently it's a bank holiday tomorrow, which unusually for the UK is on a Friday. I don't understand. Something to do with...
I think it's tomorrow's VE Day, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, why we still celebrate VE Day in this country, I have no idea. It just seems like the most... I suppose it's being...
The glory days, mate. It's the glory days.
It's being British and winning that war and all this bullshit. No, don't give me that crap.
So the World Cup as well.
So really, this weekend, what am I going to be doing? I've no idea. It's like I was wondering why actually my phone's been quite quiet today, because we're not been getting as many sales today. And I turned to Sam about an hour ago. I was like, "Is there a bank holiday tomorrow or something to do?" And she was like, "Yeah, bank holiday," and that's why it's quiet. Because you say people don't like buying on bank holiday weekends or just before.
I guess you didn't do a special bank holiday email.
No.
VE Day could be Vegan Day.
Yeah.
Vegan Enlightenment Day. There you go. Do an email about Vegan Enlightenment Day.
Dear.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. That's a bit of a leading question. That was. I'll tell you what. While we're doing this show today, I've decided what I'm going to do next week.
What?
I'm going to go into ActiveCampaign, and I'm going to tear down most of my lists. I'm going to tear down all the tags I've got. I'm going to tear down pretty much all my automations, and I'm going to build them up from scratch. So watch that over the next, in fact, I reckon in the next 10 days, keep an eye out on sort of the courses page and email, or what the emails that are coming out. I'll probably document it all as well. I'm really, really, we only paid the final installment of the World War II bill from the US fairly recently. That worked well then, didn't it?
That's probably why we're still celebrating it. Yes. Dear. No, I think some of the stuff that I've got planned for this next week is like, it just seems that this week's kind of disappeared underneath me, but I've got a bunch of campaigns that I've got to build. I've got to send my new ad agency a bunch of creatives and stuff like that, as in like creative assets, things like logos and all that kind of stuff.
People are noticing what we're doing, because we're literally preparing for June, July time.
Yeah.
So when things get back to normal and people start thinking about the future and not suddenly whether they're going to get their next toilet roll from, probably in a cupboard under the stairs, we want to have the most. Well, I personally want to have the most refined system that I can. I don't want to go back to working 7 or 8 hours a day. Screw that. I'm happy with like the 4 hours I'm doing a day at the moment. I'm sticking on that.
I think some of the stuff that I want to get done, and this is something which has been ongoing before this nonsense happened. John says, sounds like a fantastic Black Book video series, ActiveCampaign makeover. Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, it is. That's why the guys in the program know that. I literally now just record everything almost everything that I'm doing, and just upload it to what we call the Black Book. So it's a lot of processes. My way of thinking of things, my way of doing stuff.
No, say the stuff that I've been thinking about and actually taking action on over the last sort of 6 months or so, even before this nonsense started, is is diversifying my traffic sources, which is why, having different traffic guy look after some of the stuff for like Google, which is a good thing. Instead of relying on Facebook for everything, I've got I have a whole list of people that I've been communicating with backwards and forwards about acquiring different traffic sources. So acquiring different blogs and YouTube channels and things like that, because ultimately, now that we're in the position we are now, is like there's a lot more people who are desperate for some extra cash, and they might be looking to offload some of the assets that they own that they don't know what to do with. And this is the thing that I'm really, really super keen on, is finding traffic sources, places that are already getting traffic, and owning them. So rather than relying on Google AdWords or Facebook for my traffic, that I've got other traffic sources that I have ownership of, which is a way more sort of secure way of growing a business. So yeah, that's something that's on my agenda over the next couple of days or so, is to really delve deeply into that a bit more.
Did you see the message I popped up from Donald earlier? He's getting 4 likes now on his page using Tim's system.
Well, see, the thing is, he's doing way better than me, because it's cost me about 35p a like at the moment. So he's doing much.
You tell everyone what you're doing; they're all doing it now.
Well, it's funny that sometimes some things that I say actually do work. It's a weird. Dear, what's Ian saying? Huge wave of unemployment will sweep the world, then the governments will stop paying the furlough costs. Many people will need a new income source, more online. Absolutely. But at the same time, there's plenty of bloggers out there who have no idea how to use the traffic that they've already got.
They don't even realize they got the traffic as well.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? And I think there's going to be some businesses out there, certainly, that are going to be going cheap. I know we talked about this 7 weeks ago. There will be companies that are going out of business. There'll be plenty of warehouse clearances. There'll be stock available for various things come the other side of this that are going cheap. So you're going to really kind of look out for opportunities. And if you've got a bit of spare cash, you might pick up the assets of an old company that has gone.
One of my very, very first entrepreneur type things was I went into an off license, and there was 5 crates of Royal Dutch Lager, which is a little bit like Grolsch with a funny top, and they were all he had a sign saying expiring. There was like a week left, and I went, I'll take them all. Really? I went, yeah, take them all. So I bought them all, got a good price, carried them around to the local pub, and went, do you want these? And so I sold them for twice what I paid for them to the pub around the corner. Easy.
Plenty of arbitrage available, definitely.
Yeah, that is going to be the word, arbitrage. Right, I think we'll wrap it on the head. Wrap it on the head, knock it on the head, wrap it up. Mixed metaphors.
So if you're not in the SMO already, there's a banner at the bottom, joinsmo.com/free. It's a free group. It's not on Facebook. And it's got
it's deliberately not on Facebook.
There's lots of interesting stuff to do with marketing. There is, of course, the pro group as well. If you need any advice about, or got any questions about anything to do with what we talked about today, drop us a message in the free group.
Yeah. Right, guys. See you next week. If you've got anything you want us to talk about next week, just let us know in either of the groups, and we will chat. We love it. We love a good chat. Yeah. So, guys, have a great weekend. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. Gives you pretty much fair reign, doesn't it? Apart from that, just means you can't go out. We wouldn't dare go out.
Hey, racing.
See you later, guys. Bye.